Hey guys, Coach Michael here, coach of Starting Strength Boston, and today I would just like to speak candidly about the Starting Strength Gym's coaching job or career as a whole. And I'm just gonna kind of freeball here, talk a little bit about what I like about the job, why you should try to get into one of these jobs, and so on and so forth. So first of all, my story, just very briefly. I started at Starting Strength Boston in May of 2021, which is when the gym first opened. At the time, I was teaching guitar lessons. I'd gone to school for music. I'd been doing that for like 5 years. At the time, I knew I wanted a career change. I didn't want to be doing that forever. And I was on the early interest list for Starting Strength Boston. Got an email that said they were looking for apprentices. And at the time, I wasn't even really into Starting Strength. Uh, I had kind of found Starting Strength a couple of years prior, had run the NLP, had kind of drifted away from it, and then saw this opportunity, and I was like, all right, let me get this shot. And then within like 2 days, I was basically hooked, and I haven't looked back. So um, from that, I started as an unpaid apprentice, and basically my trajectory was like unpaid apprentice at the start. I got hired as a staff coach in October of that year. So that was what, May to October. So it's like a few months. And then passed the platform, passed the year, became an SSC in May of last year. So this is about a year in. So it took me about 1 year to become an SSC. And then as of October of last year, I took over the head coach position. It's now April at the time of filming this. So I've been head coach for about 6 months. But basically, I'm going to talk about why you should do this job, why it's so great, because it really is. And we'll just go into some detail about that. So there's the apprenticeship program. I'm not going to go too much into the specifics of that because you can find a lot of info online. You should watch the Starting Strength Gyms podcast with Ray and Ina, or just anything with Ina, really. She does a great job of explaining the apprenticeship program. But basically, you can start off with very little commitment. It is, you're not getting paid, so you can kind of come in and show up whenever and do what you want to do. You basically just hang out at the gym all the time. The online prep course costs $200 a month, so you'll have to enroll in that. And basically, the apprenticeship program is for people that are interested in pursuing the Starting Strength gyms, becoming a starting strength coach in a starting strength franchise gym. Like that is really the end goal. Um, but basically, you start off with that. You're just paying a couple $100s a month, and you get to hang out at the gym all the time. You get trained by all the coaches there. You get to hang out with them. You get to pick their brains. You get to deal with the members there. You get to coach them. You get to hang out with them. They're really awesome. The whole place is incredible, right? But basically, the reasons this job is so great, there's a few. All right, I'm going to start with bullet point number 2 now. We got a lot of upward mobility, right? So, like I was saying, in 2 years, I've gone from unpaid apprentice, like no experience in the fitness industry, and now I'm the head coach, right? So, what happened between then and now? Well, the way these gyms are set up, right, you have this program that involves mentorship not only in your gym, but online as well. So you're getting day-to-day practical mentorship from these coaches. You're getting online mentorship, more academic with the online prep course. But basically, you're getting exposure to multiple different experienced coaches, and you're just able to really, really hone your skills and hone your edge in a short period of time, especially if you're serious about it. And that piece is very, very important. So if you're serious about it and you're ready to just jump in and do this, in my situation, it was like 5 months before I had an awesome job, and then 2 years later now, an even better job. It's a meritocracy, as you can see written here. So the more that you put in, the more that you care, the more you're going to be rewarded. And it's really, in my opinion, it's based on responsibility. So, you start off, there's not a lot of responsibility. You're on the hook for the couple $100s for the prep course. That's really your only investment at that point. But, as you kind of progress through the prep course, you're responsible for, coaching clients a little bit at a time. So, you're coaching warm-ups at the start. In your prep course, you're required to do video assignments. So you have to record yourself coaching, work sets periodically. So it's just like little small bits of responsibility, really. So you're responsible for this person's well-being. You're responsible for, for example, getting them through a heavy work set. You're responsible for making sure that they're, on track with their warm-ups. They're right in work out on the board, and they're not going over time and all this stuff. And then over time, you get more and more responsibility. So if you prove that you can do that, like if you can coach one work set and not kill somebody, then maybe you get a class. So it's like you get to run a class on a regular basis, and then you get to kind of, from there, you're in charge of a few people, and then you might have more than one class, and so on and so forth, right? So you're able to work your way up in manageable chunks, and you're not getting stuff thrown on you that you don't want. You get to kind of, you have a good deal of freedom with your schedule. As Ray also has talked about on the podcast, the SS Gyms podcast, the schedule is pretty darn sweet, I would say. So I do this full time. It's technically a part-time job. I've done the math, and I work like between, I think if I don't work Saturday, it's like 29 hours a week. And then with Saturday, it's like in the low 30s. And then you have like intros and private sessions on top of that. So it could be, up to like, for me personally, it's up to like 35-ish hours if it's like a really busy week. But you can work more than that if you want to. There's opportunities for you to, earn extra income through online coaching, nutrition coaching. There's a lot of different opportunities. And right now, we're really at the ground floor of starting strength. The franchise gyms are just starting to grow. It's a relatively new thing, so there's probably going to be a lot of opportunity in the future. But yeah, let's move on to the gym environment. All right, we're going to create a utopian gym environment within your starting strength gym, right? So that sounds ridiculous. What I mean by that is you basically get to create your own happy place, for lack of a better term, with your members and with your coaches, which is really awesome. So, in today's world, a lot of things are really crazy. I think we can all agree on that. There's a lot of negativity in the world. There's a lot of people, in my personal opinion, I mean, this has always been the case, but there's people that care a lot and that don't really care. And if you've ever been in like any job, pretty much ever, you'd see people that don't care and don't do anything, and you're trying to care and do a good job, and then you kind of get rewarded the same amount, and you feel stuck, and it's really nasty, right? So starting strength gyms are not like that at all. In the starting strength gyms, you are in charge of essentially, you don't have to, I don't want to word this like you're getting paid to make other people care, but like, if you really care about the gym, which you kind of have to if you're going to be a coach, then that enthusiasm is going to be infectious, right? You're going to spread to other people, and then you get to create an environment where you're essentially a leader in making people stronger, harder to kill, healthier, all those good things. But also, you're it's not an environment where people are encouraged to slack off. You're encouraged to do the right thing, do things a certain way. It's disciplined, it's regimented in a lot of ways, which I think is very important. Like in our modern society, I think a lot of there's not a lot of discipline in general. Like even people that are very successful and have great careers, like a lot of them have, terrible diets, or a lot of them are actually like kind of broke. They have like poor financial habits. So you really get to instill just good habits in general, good etiquette. Everyone has their own station, right? Like even down to just like putting the plates on a certain side of the plate tree, and like writing the warm ups a certain way. And so obviously I wrote my little joke in there. It's a cult. We get crap for that all the time, because it's like you're just so anal and so nitpicky about certain things. But like, it's important. Every little thing kind of matters. You want to make sure that everything is in order, and it really starts from the ground up. You gotta have a good foundation, and you want to have a gym that people enjoy coming to, that is clean, that is well run, and it's a place where you get to have a good time and kind of escape from the mediocrity of our current world. Speaking of that, another good reason to come to the gym, all that stuff that I just said kind of makes it seem like really serious and professional, which kind of is in some ways, but like at the end of the day, it's a gym. It's, even though it's incredibly important, and I think it's, it should be a pillar in everyone's life, it is still a recreational activity, or at least it's derived from a recreational activity. So it should still be fun, which I think a lot of people really appreciate when they come to our gym. A lot of our gym is obviously kind of expensive. So a lot of the members work high pressure, high stress jobs where they're having to be professional all day and like kind of be on all day. And then when you get to come to our gym, they obviously get to train and, really stress through that, but they also get to joke around, and like it's a fun environment where you're palling around with a bunch of other like-minded people. So that's really a huge draw for those people. But as a coach, you get to be a part of all that, and you get to spearhead all of that, and you get to create that and kind of, attach your own flavor to it. So even though all the starting strength gyms have the common thread of being, we all coach the starting strength method, like that's non-negotiable. We all, we go through the same certification process, but like, as far as like personal, I don't want to call it like flair or flavor, but like each coach obviously has their own personality. Each gym is going to have its own vibe based on, the region and the culture of that region and that sort of thing, So like, in Texas, people are, shooting each other in their gyms. In Boston, everyone's, voting for AOC throughout the day and stuff like that. So depending on where you go, you have a different vibe. But yeah, what else did I want to talk about? That's pretty much it. It's the best job. Oh yeah, salary. Salary is a really good one. So as a staff coach, right, before passing the platform, that's another thing I should point out. You can get a job as a staff coach without passing the platform as long as you are on the track to pass the platform pretty soon, which is, we call it a level 2 coach. You're platform ready, which means that a coach has deemed you on the path or just about ready to take the platform exam. You're ready to coach classes and not mess things up. So basically after your apprenticeship, after your, shadowing for free, then you would advance to that level. And then from that level, you're expected to pass the platform. So you get a raise there. So the base salary, if you haven't taken the platform, is $20 an hour, and that's negotiable up to a certain point. And that's also in Boston, so I don't know if that... No, I'm pretty sure it's the same throughout all the gyms. So that's like the base level. So $20 an hour as a staff coach. So you start as a level 1, which is like an apprentice, unpaid. Then you go level 2, you're getting about $20 an hour. Each class is 90 minutes, so you get paid for a 90-minute session. So it's $30 for each class at the start, right? And then once you pass the platform, you get a $250 an hour raise. Once you pass the oral exam and become an SSC, then you move up to $30 an hour, I believe, is the base. I think that's correct. I think it's like 30 to 35 at that point. And then from there, if you become a head coach, you get paid more. So you can be a starting strength coach as a staff coach, and you make like 30 to 35 is the pay scale per hour. And like I said, you can work, anywhere from like 20 to 40 hours a week. So that you have a wide range in there, but you kind of have control over what that's going to wind up being. And then as a head coach, your starting hourly rate is $40 an hour. And then if you work like, for me personally, if I work like, I kind of did the math, and I think I'm going to be making, if I did like just my base classes with like no intros, no private sessions, which is not what happens, but like without all the intros, without private sessions, without online clients, if I just work my base hours, I make like 64K-ish a year, right? Pre-tax. So then if I have like all my intros and private sessions, which we do have on a regular basis, online clients, nutrition clients, all that, then you can push that up higher and higher. So you can make like, 6 figures feasibly if you're, serious about that and that's a goal of yours. But yeah, that's pretty good for a personal trainer salary. And it's pretty darn good for not needing any sort of, credential necessarily to get into it in the first place, right? So if you're just someone that's motivated, you're tired of having a crappy job, you're tired of not doing something fulfilling, all you need really is the hunger to get started, and then the discipline to actually stick to it. And then you can get into one of these positions. And we have gyms opening all over. Our bottleneck right now in Boston is that we don't have enough coaches to open another gym, which is partially why I'm making this video, to be honest. So if you're interested, please shoot me a message or shoot Arthur a message. But I think that's everything, yeah. The salary is really good. The job itself is amazing. And then, like I said, right now, you're kind of on the ground floor. So like in the future, there's going to be other opportunities, I'm sure, in other jobs and opportunity for growth and upward mobility. Some gyms right now, I know they do ownership sharing or something like that, right? You get equity in the gym essentially as a coach. Like I know on the recent podcast with Mark from Austin, they were talking about how he has like a small share in that gym. So that's an opportunity. You can franchise your own gyms over time. There's all kinds of different avenues you can take with this. But really, like, the best thing about the starting strength cert and the starting strength gyms is just the standard of quality, right? A certain level is demanded of you, and it's not like suffocating. It's not like over the top. It's really it's a manageable level of responsibility, which really pushes you to become better. And there's really a lot of parallels to, not to get like cheesy, but there's a lot of parallels to like strength training into the NLP, right? So you start with a manageable amount of responsibility, like stress, right? And then you kind of like show that you can handle that, and you kind of settle into that, and then you kind of up it a little bit, over time. And you take on more and more responsibility, and then you like start to make more money, and then you have more clients, you impact more people, right? But you're still maintaining the same level of quality coaching across all of that, and you're really taught how to do that in a very short period of time. So yeah, if you're someone that really enjoys, there's really a lot of different personality types I think that can fit into this job. You have to enjoy working with people, obviously, but there's engineers. I'm a music teacher. There's we've had like people from finance that get into this. Like, there's all kinds of different career paths that wind up as starting strength coaches, and I think that's really cool. But yeah, that's really all I'm going to say for this video. I'm going to wrap it up before it gets too long-winded. If you guys have any questions, just like post a comment on this video or shoot me a message or something, or reach out, and feel free to give you some of my time. And if you're interested in apprenticing at the gym, I'm happy to have a call with you, give you the rundown, and talk to you about steps forward. Also, you can just reach right out to Ina if you want. She can help you get set up. Oh yeah, another thing I should add, now that I think of it, I keep thinking of other stuff as I go along. If you don't want to be in the Boston gym, right, or if you live in Boston and you're like, I don't live in Boston anymore, I want to go coach somewhere else, you have opportunities to go apprentice in other starting strength gyms too. But just keep in mind that depending on where you go, it may be more or less competitive. Like if you decide you want to go coach in one of the Texas gyms, keep in mind you're going to have to compete with some very high quality SSCs, and there's also a lot of SSCs in those gyms. So you might not have as many opportunities right off the bat. Whereas if you basically, like as it stands right now, if we open another gym in Boston, you're basically like guaranteed to be a coach at the gym right now. So anyways, that's all I'm going to say for this video. Yeah, feel free to do the stuff I said, and I'm going to wrap it up. Have a great day, guys.